कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे 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 राम हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे साधु साधु भूषण हरे राम हरे हरे वाह धन्यवाद प्रणाम Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Rama Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Rama Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Jai Gopala. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Balasadeva Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare. We'll start now. I'm done with my round. We will start. Thank you very much, Sapan Prabhu, Raju Prabhu, Murlidhar Prabhu, Lalitman Prabhu for joining today. We will continue. Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Raju Prabhu, if you want to sing Prabhu. Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram
ఓకే
Hare Hare
ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ దండోతరం.
నాలుగు వాడండి నెక్స్ట్ సపన్ ప్రభు వాడతాడు ఓకే Ram Hare Hare
Okay,
Hare Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram.
यादि प्रभुपाद नहीं तो ताबे के है तो हे जीवाना बाहिता कैसे निताय घोरेरा आपारा करुणा के दीता साकाला देसे. If Srila Prabhupada had not come, what would have happened? How could we have passed our lives? Who else would have distributed the unlimited mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Gauranga all over the world? Pacha tera yata papi dhurachari sanyavadi mayavadi tadera uddara kari bhari mana hena kon dayanidhi. Which other compassionate person would have endeavored to deliver the miscreants, sinful, impersonalist, and voyeuristic people in the West? Tade Rani Kate Kam. It's a tune.
Tade Tade Rani Kate Kunjana Si Bilai Hari Nam Sabhaya Jiva Rupe Gadite Tadera Kehaita Aguyan. Chanting.
Tade Rani Kate Kunjana Asi Bilai Harina. Sabaya Jivarupe Gadite Tadera Ke Haita Aguyan. Who else would have come to distribute the Harinam to them? Who else would have come forward to transform them into civilized beings? देशे देशे हरि विग्रह सेवा आरती रात्रि दी राता यात्रादि महोत्सव साबासी कैता कांचने. Who else would have taught them to worship the deity form of the Lord Hari day and night with Arati Kirtanam, and how to conduct the Ratha Yatra and other grand festivals? Thank you.
Jai Bhav. Thank you, Bhav. अपन प्रभु की जय.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. गीता भागवता चैतन्य चरिता प्रेमामृता रस सारा कथा ना सुंदरा सरल करिया के बुझाइता आरा. यदि प्रभुपाद न होई तो ताबे की होई तो ये जीवन वहित किसे. यदि प्रभुपाद न होई तो ताबे की होई तो ये जीवन वहित किसे. कट कष्ट सही प्रीत माने रही के वादिता हरि नाम के दीता मदेरा पूरी वृंदावना मायापुरा मथ धाम. यदि प्रभुपाद न होई तो ताबे की होई तो ये जीवन वहित किसे. परम मंगल श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु शिक्षा धाना आचार्य प्रचारे सदा आमादेरे की करिता नियोजना. यदि प्रभुपाद न होई तो ताबे की होई तो ये जीवन वहित किसे. प्रेम कल्पतरु निताय गौरेरा कृपा कना लाभी भरे निरवधि जय पताका हृदय तुम्हारे शरण करे. यदि प्रभुपाद न होई तो ताबे की होई तो ये जीवन वहित किसे. Who else would have tolerated all difficulties and distributed Hari Nam with a pleasant heart? Who would have given us the dhamas such as Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Jagannath Puri? The teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu constitute the general and most auspicious treasure. Who else would have engaged us in constantly practicing and preaching it? Sri Sri Nitai Gaura are desire trees of love of Godhead. Desiring a drop of their mercy, Jayapataka's heart incessantly takes shelter of your divine grace. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिने नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वते गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद हरि अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुन्दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमिशनं पवित्र पवित्र सर्वसङ्गतोऽपि वा यस्मरे पुण्डरीकाक्षं सबाह्याभ्यन्तरं रुचिः श्रीविष्णु तद्विष्णु परमपदं सदा पश्यन्ति सूर्यो दिव्यो चक्षुरततं सद्विप्रासो विपन्यो जागृहंस समिन्ध्यते विष्णुं यत् परमं पदम् हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, volume 1, chapter 30, the London Dream Fulfilled. Let me share. London Dream. Okay, is there. Control home. Yeah. London, a dream fulfilled. This is the chapter 30 of volume 1. So we are at that particular paragraph. Let me read for some and I will over to you. At the second Conway Hall engagement, Sapan Prabhu కొంచెం ఆయన తర్వాత చేస్తారా?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. At the second Conway Hall engagement, when Prabhupada stood during the Kirtana and began to dance, the devotees on stage joined him. Dancing in a circle, Ishana played his trumpet, and even Saraswati, her diapers showing beneath her short dress, jumped up and down in ecstasy. Each week, it is Adinama already devotees? Each week would bring another Conway Hall meeting, and Prabhupada's dancing became a regular feature. Did we read it? Actually, I pointed out from the group only.
ఇది అయిపోయింది బ్రో.
ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాం ప్రభు? Any pointer there? Otherwise, I have to check video.
కాన్వే హాల్ అయితే అయిపోయింది బ్రో. లాస్ట్ టైం అయిపోయింది, 2 days ముందు అయిపోయింది.
అదే అంటున్నా. అయితే ఆగండి, ఫైల్ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ క్విక్లీ. అదే నేనే చదివినట్టు గుర్తుంది అప్పుడు కూడా స్టార్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు. ఓకే, సో థర్స్డే, దిస్ వాజ్ ద థర్స్డే మెసేజ్. ఓకే, థర్స్డే మీన్స్ ఆల్రెడీ డన్. సో ఫ్రైడే మెసేజ్ పెట్టలేదు. ఫ్రైడే డిడ్ వి కనెక్ట్? నా వి కనెక్టెడ్. Yeah, Friday we had a call. Okay. Oh, she didn't put anyway. Okay, I'm gonna find out right away. Just a minute. Our channel is there, right? So, 3 days ago. Okay. Seeing him was always a pleasure. That is there. Seeing him. Okay. Control F. Seeing him. Got it. We'll continue from there. You are able to see, right? Seeing him was always pleasure. Okay, na? కనిపిస్తుందా?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, we'll continue from here. Seeing him was always a pleasure. Sometimes I would drop by, thinking I wasn't planning to go, but I better go because I ought to. And I would always come away just feeling so good. I was conscious that he was taking a personal interest in me. It was always a pleasure. George was attracted to Krishna. Now, from here onwards, George Harrison, the Beatles head, George was attracted to Krishna and he liked to chant. Even before meeting Prabhupada, he had learned something of Krishna from Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, from the autobiography of Paramahamsa Yogananda, and from traveling in India. But Prabhupada's instructions in particular impressed upon him that Lord Krishna was absolute truth, the origin of everything. George, Prabhupada helped me to realize the multifaceted way to approach Krishna, like the prasadam, for example. I think it is a very important thing, prasadam, even if it's only a trick, like they say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. Well, even if it's a way to a man's spirit soul, it works. Because there is nothing better than having been dancing and singing or just sitting and talking, and then suddenly they give you some food. It's like it's a blessing. And then chanting, feasting, and dancing, right, Prabhupada, I know. That's why, since he is a professional singer, he had a band, he has a, the Beatles group, right? So he likes to dance, he likes to sing, performer, great performer. So he likes to, he got, of course, Prasadam, immediately he got attracted. Huh? It's a blessing, this one. What is it? Because there is nothing better than having been dancing and singing or just sitting or talking, and then suddenly they give you some food. It's like it's a blessing. Then, when you learn to touch him or taste him, it is important. Krishna is not limited, and just by Prabhupada's being there and pouring out all this information, I was moved. It's like the mind is stubborn, but it's all Krishna. That's all you need to know. It's all Krishna. This world is material. This world is material energy too. It is material energy to the universal form. And in the Prabhupada books, there are these pictures showing Krishna in the heart of a dog and a cow and a human being. It helps you to realize that Krishna is within everybody, 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 and everybody else. So these italics words, right? In the italics, direct words from George Harrison. Very nice. These italics words from directly from George Harrison, great devotee of Lord. Prabhupada's uh, presence makes him, purity. Although Prabhupada might have been teaching some higher aspect, what came through to me a lot was a greater understanding of how Krishna is everywhere and in everything. Prabhupada explained about the different aspects of Krishna, and he provided a meditation where you could see Krishna as a person everywhere. I mean, there isn't anything that isn't Krishna. That means everything is Krishna. Everything is by Krishna. Everything is from Krishna. Prabhupada saw George as a nice young boy and a devotee of Krishna. Prabhupada himself, according to the Bhagavatam, no matter what a person may be materially, Bhagavatam is telling, if he is a non-devotee and never utters the holy name of God, he cannot possess any good qualities. Many Swamis and yogis in India, even some who considered themselves Vaishnavas, had no faith in or understanding of the holy names of Krishna. But George liked to chant Hare Krishna, and he had put the holy name of Krishna in his songs, which were tremendously popular all over the world. So he was serving Krishna through his music, and that made all the difference. Even though many, I mean, that Bhaktivedanta Manor and Krishna book, that time, 55, 56, 55, 60 years back, he donated all this. Mr. George Harrison appears to be a very intelligent boy, and he is, by the grace of Krishna, fortunate also. On the first day, he came to see me along with John Lennon, and we had talks about 2 hours. He wanted to talk with me more, but he has now gone to his sick mother in Liverpool. Prabhupada also saw George as a rich man. Lord Chaitanya had strictly instructed devotees in the renounced order not to mix with worldly men. But Lord Chaitanya had also taught that a devotee should accept any favorable opportunity for propagating Krishna consciousness. If this boy cooperates with our movement, Prabhupada words, okay? If this boy cooperates with our movement, it will be very nice impetus for all of us. For after all, he is a moneyed man. These moneyed men have to be very cautiously dealt with in spiritual life. We have to sometimes deal with them on account of preaching work. Otherwise, La Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is strictly restricted to mix with them for Krishna conscious people. But we get instruction from Rupa Goswami that whatever opportunity is favorable for pushing on Krishna consciousness, we should accept. Prabhupada dealt with Judge cautiously but encouraged him to chant the Lord's name, take his prasadam, and surrender all his works to him. When the devotees in the US heard of Prabhupada's dealing with the Beatles, some of them exaggerated the closeness of the friend relationship, especially in the case of John Lennon. Prabhupada heard of this and immediately stopped it. Regarding the booklet you and Gargamuni are sending, in the introductory portion signed by you and Gargamuni, you have said that I am personally instructing John Lennon and George Harrison in the yoga of ecstasy. This is not very satisfactory. Of course, George Harrison sometimes comes to see me, and naturally I instruct him on the Bhakti Yoga. But the statement in the letter gives hint as if I have been invited by them for this. If this comes to their notice, they may they may take some objection which will not go to our credit. These things should not be publicly advertised, and I do not know why this has been done. Anyway, if you have not distributed many of them, you just try to take out the portion which is not a fact. So you all continue, devotees. I'll be here sometime, Sapan Prabhu. But before over to this Velamrita reading, let me share Vrittasura prayers one more time. I want to recite, and then I will spend some time hearing mode, but I will be here sometime. Okay. So that is the verse, right? Bhakti Vaibhava. Okay. Okay. Very important. Vrittasura prayers.
ఈ
The
ప్రభుపాద్
transcendental
లీలామృత
qualities
కూడా
of
షేర్ చేయండి
Lord.
ప్రభుజీ.
Link. చేశాను.
అండ్ ఆ కీవర్డ్ కూడా సర్చ్ కోసం.
yes. ఓకే, మీకు ఇప్పుడు చేస్తాను, అది రెడీ ఉంటారు కదా, ఒక్క నిమిషం అండి. ఇక్కడ నుంచి కాపీ చేయగలుగుతారు చూడండి, జూమ్ నుంచి ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్ కాపీ హియర్. ఒక్కోసారి డిజేబుల్ ఉంటుంది ప్రభు.
లెట్ మీ చెక్.
ఉన్నదా చూడండి.
యా ఇట్స్ వర్కింగ్ ప్రభుజీ.
ఓకే, రెడీ ఉండండి, నేను ఈ యొక్క రిసైడ్ చేస్తా అండ్ గివ్ ఇట్ యూ. రీడ్ ఫర్ సమ్ టైమ్ అండ్ చాంట్ ఆల్సో దిస్ వన్, దే వృద్ధాసుర ప్రేయర్స్. వృద్ధాసుర ప్రేయర్స్ ఫ్రమ్ శ్రీమద్ భాగవతం 6th canto 11th chapter 24, 25, 26 and 27. These 4 verses very important, nice verses. I will do these two and then read translation also. 6, 11, 24. Aham hare tava padaikamola dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuya manasmareta supater gunamste grinita vakarma karotu kaya. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants, who find shelter only at your lotus feet? Question. O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. Huh? His mood, he wanted to surrender to the devotees of Krishna. 6:11, 25 association. When will I be able to servant of your eternal servant? And 6:11:25. Transcendental qualities of Vrittasura, 11th chapter of 6th canto, 25 verse. Nanakaprushtam na cha parameshyam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunarbhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshe. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. అంటే That is most important thing compared to all other things. What is that? Lotus feet of surrendered at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, or serving who have surrendered, those devotees. Those devotees surrendered at the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, serve them. So two verses very important. Hare Krishna. రీడ్ చేయండి. అది ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది ప్రభు గ్రూప్లో, నేను మళ్ళీ పాయింట్ అవుట్ చేస్తా.
Okay.
I'll continue, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Please manage. Chandravel Prabhu ki jai. Thank you for joining. Vani Mataji hearing mode. After some time, you have to read Mataji. Not all the time hearing mode. Be active, please. 5
Hare
minutes,
Krishna,
10 minutes.
Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. And Pranam. I'll be here, Prabhu, for some
ఇది
time.
మీరు చదివేశారా ప్రభు? జార్జ్ ప్రభుపాద్ నెవర్ రియల్లీ సజెస్టెడ్, అక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేయాలా?
అక్కడి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేయాలి. నెవర్
Okay.
రియల్లీ సజెస్టెడ్. Make host. So be it. Okay. Thank you so much, devotees.
Yeah.
Small group, sweet group, more focus. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So let me read. George, Prabhupada never really suggested that I shouldn't do what I was doing. I heard that at different times he would say to the devotees that I was a better devotee because of my songs and other things I was doing. He never actually said that to me, but I always heard that. And the good thing for me was that I didn't have a feeling that I needed to join full time. I think it would have spoiled it if he had always been on at me saying, why don't you pack in doing what you're doing and go and live in a temple somewhere? He never made me feel any different, like I wasn't quite in the club. He was never like that. I'm a plain clothes devotee. It's like that. I saw my relationship that I should help when and where I could because I know the people in society. It's like a half decent person. You just try and help each other a bit. He was always pleased with me because anything I did was a help. I mean, not just to Krishna temple as such, but just to say anything spiritual that I did, either through songs or whatever, it pleased him. He was just always very friendly. He was always chanting, and at times he said to me, just keep chanting all the time or as much as possible. I think once you do that, you realize the chanting is of benefit. There are some gurus who go around making out that they are it. But Prabhupada was saying, I am the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, which is really what it is, you know. He wasn't saying, I'm the greatest, I'm God, and all that. With him, it was only in the context of being a servant, and I like that a lot. I think it's part of the spiritual thing. The more they know, the more they actually know that they are the servant. And the less they know, the more they think they are actually God's gift to mankind. So, although he was obviously a very powerful individual, very spiritually advanced, he always retained that humbleness. And I think that is one of most important things because you learn more than all the words he says. You learn really from the example of how he lives and what he does. Hare Krishna. Lalit Mohan Prabhuji.
Prabhu, we'll read after some time. Please give it to others.
Okay, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Chandrabali Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
The daily sketch reported Krishna people dine out at John and Yoko's place. A photograph showed the devotees. 1 minute. Photograph showed the devotees started our doors taking prasadam. Lunchtime at Titten Hut Park, stately home of John Lennon and Yoko Ono, and some of the Lennon's house guests take their places in yesterday's sunshine. The picnickers are followers of the Indian Swami. Sorry. The picnickers are followers of the Indian Swami, His Divine Grace Abhecharan Bhakti Vedanta. They have adapted the ways of the East from their clothes and shaven heads right down to the Indian curry they eat with their fingers, which is all rather out of the character for a place like Tittenhurst Park, which cost John $150,000, $150,000, and covers 60 acres of most exclusive Sunning Hill near Royal Ascot Race Course. Prabhupada and his people and John and Yoko and their made an odd combination. 2 days after Prabhupada's arrival at
Titan Hertz, John and Yoko had flown to Canada to perform with the Plastic Ono band at Toronto's Rock and Roll Revival at Varsity Stadium. In October, John and Yoko had recorded a wedding album and began work on a film, Rock and Roll Circus, and John had recorded Cold Turkey. Although John was usually shy, the devotees working at the main house and found him open-hearted and generous with his possessions. He invited the devotee to stay permanently at Titan Huts and farm. Whatever they had, he said he would share with them. One day, Yoko asked Yamuna if a devotee couple could stand in for her and John on stage at a London theater. She and John had previously appeared. They dressed in only a burlap bag and were supposed to make another appearance. But Yoko thought perhaps a devotee couple could take their place. The crowd, she said, might never know the difference, and even if they did, it would be a hilarious publicity stunt for the devotees. Politely declining, Yamuna explained why devotee could never do such a thing. When she told Prabhupada he was adamant none of his disciples would go. For days afterward, he condemned this sensuality. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Nilima Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
John invited Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dandavat pranam to everyone. John invited Prabhupada to Manor to hear his recent recording of Cold Turkey. Although such a song held little interest for Prabhupada, John whimsically wanted him to hear it, taking the opportunity to preach to the great man of the world. Prabhupada went. Within John's main sitting room, Prabhupada sat on the couch before the fireplace. The tape was ready on the large 16-track machine that had recorded it, and as Prabhupada sat patiently, John began to work the controls. But the machine wouldn't play. John began cursing under his breath, turning knobs and pushing buttons, although only Purushottama had accompanied Prabhupada. Two other devotees hid outside beneath the windows, listening when they peeked in and saw John struggling with the machine. They began to giggling in the shadows. Oh, Prabhupada said, "So your machine is not working well? Never mind. We have also made some recording and we would like to play this music for your pleasure." John resigned himself to listening to Prabhupada singing, and Prabhupada was saved from the cold turkey. Prabhupada kept his visit short as he was leaving. He saw on the wall framed life-size photos of John and Yoko naked. He also saw black and white silhouettes of a man and woman in various positions of sexual intercourse. On returning to his room, he commented, "It is not good for us to continue staying here." He asked Mukunda to find him an apartment in London, the Bury Place. Renovations were still incomplete, and Prabhupada said he preferred to be in the city so that he could oversee the work. The natural setting of Tinhurst was pleasant, but Prabhupada's host way of life and his were incompatible. One day, John and Yoko, dressed in black, came to visit Prabhupada, acknowledging him to be a great yogi with a mystic power. They asked him to use his powers to arrange with Krishna that they be reunited after death. Prabhupada was disappointed. "This is not my business," he said. "Krishna provides you with life and he takes it away in the form of death. It is the impossible that you can be united after death. When you go back home, back to Godhead, you can be united with Krishna. But husband and wife, this is simply a mundane relationship. It ends with the body at the time of death. You cannot pick up this kind of relationship again after death. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Raju Prabhu, are you available? Raju Prabhu? మీది 2 లాగిన్ ఉన్నాయి. సో yeah, please read Prabhu. Yeah, please.
At one end of the estate lived a bricklayer and his wife in a small, neglected Georgian house, hired by John to build a recording studio on the property. The bricklayer had only recently moved to Tittenhurst. A tough, burly man, he never spoke to devotees until one day he asked several of them if they believed in ghosts. Oh yes, Kulashekara said. Prabhupada says there are ghosts. I don't believe. The bricklayer said, my wife is having dreams, but I don't believe in ghosts. The bricklayer's wife revealed that both she and her husband had been hearing something at night. Last night, they had gone running to John Lennon's house, terrified, complaining of sounds, chains rattling, boot heels pounding, and noise of something like a body being dragged across the floor. The bricklayer had seen his wife violently shaken by the shoulders, although no one else was there. Should I go ahead, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
When the devotees told Prabhupada, he said, you tell John Lennon that if he wants, we can get rid of this ghost. Mukunda relayed the message, but John had already invited his friend, a white witch, to come and exorcise the ghost. The warlock visited the bricklayer cottage, and a few devotees tagged along. Over a fireplace in the main room, they found a carving of a person with a ghost coming out of his forehead. And on the opposite wall, mahogany runes. These are ancient witch runes, the warlock said, shaking his head. I can't do anything here. Bro, can you please search this word, runes? What does that mean? R-U-N-E-S.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh. Okay. Writing this alphabet. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, continue, Prabhu.
Okay. Mahogany runes. On opposite wall, mahogany runes. These are the ancient witch runes, the warlock said, shaking his head. I can't do anything here. When John asked the devotees to try their medicine, Prabhupada directed them. At the bricklayer's cottage, they should sprinkle water offered to Krishna in a doorways. Below conch shell, and then have kirtan. A group of devotees went, and Kulasekara led the kirtan. After half an hour of chanting, Kulasekara felt a great release of pressure within the room, and the kirtana became ecstatic. The devotees returned to their engagements, assuring John that the ghosts would not return, and the bricklayer and his wife moved in again. The next morning, Prabhupada passed the old cottage on his walk. So, how is the ghost? He asked. No news, Prabhupada, Kulasekara replied. The following morning, Prabhupada again asked, how is the ghost? Would they like to have him back? Years ago in India, Prabhupada said, when he was running his chemical business, he had detected ghosts in the building at night. What did you do? One of the devotees asked. I simply chanted Hare Krishna and the ghosts would go away. Prabhupada then opened his eyes wide and gestured with both hands, mimicking the frightened workers in the plant who had come running to him. Babaji, Babaji, there is a ghost, there is a ghost. The devotees laughed. Actually, Prabhupada said, there are many ghosts here, especially over by the stable areas. They are attached to this place, but they will not harm you if you just chant Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah, let me read. Prabhupada was anxious to leave Tittenhurst, and by late October, some of the devotees had moved to Bury Place. Prabhupada no longer had any business at Tittenhurst. Mr. Lennon was an influential person who had seemed interested in Krishna, but now there was no point in Prabhupada staying on at that estate. Yoko and her ex-husband Dan, now John's manager, were also pressing John to be rid of the devotees. Dan complained that devotees were trying to take over the place. The devotees, on the other hand, complained to John that Dan and Yoko were misrepresenting them. On one side were Dan and Yoko, on the other, the devotees. John was in the middle. He had to choose. John told Mukunda that as far as he was concerned, he got along fine with the devotees, but the people around him were having difficulty. He would give the devotees a couple more weeks to move to the new temple in the city. The devotees were already in the process of moving to Bury Place, and Mukunda had found an apartment for Prabhupada a short drive from the temple. In a few days, everything would be ready for Prabhupada to move. On the day Prabhupada left Tittenhurst, he stopped at his car and said, "I want to say goodbye to a few friends first." And then he took a last walk through the grounds, giving careful attention to trees, sometimes touching their leaves. Just as on the morning walks, then he left. The next day, a severe storm swept through Tittenhurst estate, breaking windows and uprooting trees. Hare Krishna. Chandrabali Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, I called you before. You can read.
Yeah, actually, I went to talk to you.
Prabhuji, can I read after?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah, November 3rd, 1969, Prabhupada moved into the furnished apartment on Baker Street, a 10-minute drive from Bury Place temple. After 2 months in London, he was anxious to see his temple open, and Chamasundara was working hard, although progressing slowly. For the temple's interior, Chamasundar had an artistic concept taken from photographs he had seen of the Ajanta cave South Indian temples with walls and ceilings of carved stone. His inspiration was to produce similar effect using California redwood. He and Mukunda had shipped to England a year ago. On first hearing the plans, Prabhupada had asked why make it too artistic. But Shamasundar had seemed so set an idea that Prabhupada had permitted him. With the ceiling partially finished, there was no turning back. Shamasundara toiled day and night, yet each day temple design seemed to grow more elaborate, with the walls and floor fashioned of solid redwood, and the ceiling lined with the redwood arches. Shamasundara took great care to see that each piece fit exactly into place. As Shamasundara inched along, devotees joked that the room looked like upside down boat. But Prabhupada encouraged him, telling him it was very beautiful. Prabhupada often allowed his disciples to work as they liked. He reasoned that they were raising the money and could spend it in Krishna conscious service as they pleased. He also did not care to interfere in every detail of a disabled service, especially when that disciple was strong-headed and had ideas were not harmful or obstructive. All Prabhupada disciples were ultimately under the absolute decision, but he was often lenient, 80% lenient, he would sometimes say. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna.
Vani Mataji. Vani Mataji, are you available?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
ఎక్కడి నుంచి చదవాలి?
Ikkade, Shamsundara particularly thrived. First line.
Okay. Shyam Sundara particularly thrived. I'm not able to read. Yeah. Shyam Sundara particularly thrived on having his own big projects. He had arranged for the Mantra rock dance in San Francisco, built the first Rath Yatra carts, established a friendship with George Harrison, and now he was designing a temple. Prabhupada allowed it. Watchfully like a father. Consulting the Vedic calendar, Prabhupada chose December 14 for the temple opening celebration. And despite predictions from Shyamsundara and others that the deadline would be impossible to meet, Prabhupada ordered invitations printed immediately. The devotees had tremendous work to do and little time. Not only did they have the temple to complete, but also Prabhupada's quarters in the second floor and the kitchen in the basement. Faced with their tight deadline, they worked harder. As Prabhupada was anxious about the temple opening, he was also anxious about publishing the first volume of Krishna, but he had no money. According to printers' estimation, the book would cost about $19,000. So that's a big amount. Prabhupada told Shyamsundara to ask his friend George for a donation. Shyamsundara, who had always been careful not to ask George for money, was hesitant, but Prabhupada insisted, and Shyamsundara gave in. George agreed, but regretted it afterward. Then Shyamsundara began to feel sorry. After all, he hadn't really wanted to ask George, and George hadn't really wanted to be asked. When Prabhupada heard of this, he invited George to see him. George told Prabhupada that every day people were asking him for his money. But when Prabhupada explained the importance of the Krishna book and how George's donation would be devotional service to Krishna, George dismissed his regrets. He also agreed to write a foreword to the volume. George, I didn't really think I was qualified to write the foreword to Prabhupada's book. But one way of looking at it is because I am known, it would help. But from the other point of view, it would really hinder because not everyone wants to listen or to believe what I say. There are a lot of people who would be put off just because I'm saying it. I mean, if I picked up a book on Krishna and the foreword was written by Frank Zappa or somebody like that, I would think, God, maybe I don't want to know about it. So I thought that although he asked me, maybe Prabhupada didn't really want me to write the foreword. But it was one of those things I couldn't get out of. Everybody had their minds made up. You are writing the foreword, and that's it. So I just did it. I'll read the last line also. When Srila Prabhupada asked to watch the moon landing, the devotees rented a television and placed it Prabhupada's living room. Prabhupada took his message as usual, sitting in a chair before the television.
Thank you, Mataji.
Massage, sorry, it's not, yeah. He took his massage from the chair. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Chandramali Prabhu. Chandramali Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. When Srila Prabhupada asked to watch the moon landing, the devotees rented a television and placed it in the Prabhupada's living room. Prabhupada took his message as usual, sitting in a chair before the television. Purushottama announced, well, Prabhupada, it's about time. So I will turn on the television. And soon you'll be getting some pictures from the astronauts out in space. A reporter was speaking from Cape Canaveral, Florida. We are just about to get the first pictures of this historic vacation. The picture appeared fuzzy, then cleared. The spacecraft had landed on the moon. As the astronauts emerged from the ship, they slowly eased themselves down onto the moon's surface. Purushottama was in ecstasy. Dhananjaya, I was attempting to message Prabhupada's head and at the same time watch the program. All of a sudden, as the men were landing, Prabhupada mentioned for me to sit in front of him, so I came around. As soon as I sat down, Prabhupada started to massage my head. I was quite embarrassed. You have forgotten how to massage properly, he asked. This is how you do it. He massaged my head for about 2 minutes. Then I stood behind Prabhupada and again began massaging his head. By this time, the astronauts were moving across the landscape. They had gotten out their little American flag and were sticking it in the ground and were jumping up and down. Apparently, they were defying gravity because every time they jumped up, they would float through the air and then gently land again. There was a lot of jubilation and sounds from them. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Neelima Mataji, you are the last person today.
I done, Prabhuji.
Yeah, second round Mataji. Mito అయిపోతుంది. We'll do chanting. Sorry, shlokas.
Yes, Prabhuji. So, Purushottama, Prabhupada asked they have to come to the moon. Yes, Prabhupada. Purushottama said excitedly, they have landed on the moon. Prabhupada smiled. Dhananjaya, again Prabhupada motioned me to the front. I moved around and sat down. I thought he wanted me to message him from the front, but again he put his hands on my head and massaged. He said, "Can't you learn this simple thing, massaging my head?" I had been watching the television and not giving my full attention to my service. I tried again, but again Prabhupada said, "You still don't know how to do this." I said, "Well, Prabhupada, I'm trying my hardest." He laughed and said, "That is all right. Continue." Prabhupada asked Purushottama, "So what can you see?" "They are exploring the moon's surface," he said. "So what is there?" "Well, it looks like they have landed inside a crater somewhere, and the ground sandy with some rocks." "Oh, look, they are showing some shadows from some of the rocks that are lying around. That's all you can see. There are no people, there are no trees, there are no rivers, there are no buildings." "No," Purushottama replied. "The moon is barren. They have not landed on the moon." Prabhupada said empathetically, "This is not the moon." Later, when Malati brought in Prabhupada's lunch, he said, "What Malati has done, she has made this little kachori for Krishna, and that is far greater than what they have done." Even though Prabhupada's quarters were incomplete and temple renovation made Seven Beauty Place noisy and hectic, Prabhupada decided to move in. "I am not attached to a comfortable apartment," he said. "My attachment is to living in the association of devotees." He was moving into the temple at a time when the record sales were low and the devotees were having to purchase supplies piecemeal. Whenever they got money, yet with Prabhupada's living with them and supervising their work, they were satisfied. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So it's already 9:09. So let's do shlokas. ఇవాళ గిరిరాజ్ ప్రభు ఏం పెట్టలేదు శ్లోకాస్ సో దిస్ ద లేటెస్ట్ దట్ ఈస్ దేర్ ఆన్ ద వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్ విల్ డూ దిస్ లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు ఇది అయిపోయిందా ఇది ఈ రెండు
లేదు, దీని ముందు కూడా ఇంకా అవ్వలేదు ప్రభు, జస్ట్ ఇంట్రొడక్షన్ అయింది అంతే, అవి కూడా అవ్వలేదు ఇంకా. దీని ముందు ఇంకో రెండు పెట్టారు, ఆ రోజు చూడండి ఒకసారి. ఇది అజాత పక్ష, దీనికన్నా ముందు రెండు ఉంటాయి.
లేటెస్ట్ ఇదే ఉంది ప్రభుజీ, ఇది అయిపోయినట్టు
లేదు లేదు, ఇది అవ్వలేదు ప్రభు.
ఓకే, పంపించారు ఏదో మళ్ళీ.
దీని ముందు ఇంకొకటి ఉంటుంది చూడండి.
దొరికింది, పంపించారు మళ్ళీ ఇప్పుడే.
అహం హరే తవ అటువంటి చూడండి.
యా ఉంది ప్రభు. మళ్ళీ అది వస్తుంది. ఇదే కదా ప్రభుజీ?
ఇదే ప్రభు.
ఈ రెండు అయిపోయినాయా ఆర్ వీఆర్ రివైజింగ్ ఇట్?
అవ్వలేదు అవ్వలేదు అవ్వలేదు, ఒకసారి ప్రాక్టీస్ అయితే చేయాలి మనం. ఈ కాంటెక్స్ట్ చెప్పాను అంతే ఆ రోజు, ప్రాక్టీస్ ప్రభు.
ఓకే.
So today we'll directly go practicing. I'll just tell you the meaning of these words, the lines. Okay, aham ante nenu, me. Hare ante Krishna, Sri Krishna or Hari. Tava padaika moola, నీ పాదాన్నే మూలం చేసుకున్న మనుషులు యొక్క దాసానుదాసో భవితాస్మి నభూయ. వాళ్ళకి అలాంటి వాళ్ళకి దాసానుదాస్ కింద అవ్వాలని కోరుకుంటున్నాను అనమాట. భవితాస్మి అవ్వాలి అని, భూయ మళ్ళీ మళ్ళీ. ఓకే, దట్ ఈస్ మై విష్. వాట్ ఈస్ మై విష్? టు బికమ్ దాసానుదాస్ ఆర్ సర్వెంట్ ఆఫ్ ద సర్వెంట్ ఆఫ్ దోస్ పీపుల్ హూ హ్యాస్ taken surrender to the lotus feet of you. మనుస్మరేతా సుపతే గుణాంస్తే గృణీత వా కర్మ కరోతు కాయః. ఎవరైతే మనస్మరేత, అసుపతేర్ అంటే కృష్ణ అన్నమాట. ఓకే, మనస్మరేత్, ఎవరైతే మనసు ఎప్పుడైతే స్మరిస్తూ ఉంటుందో, గుణాంశ్ ఎప్పుడైతే మీ గుణాల గురించి స్మరిస్తూ ఉంటుందో, గృణీత వాక్ కర్మ కరోతు కాయ. వాక్ మీన్స్ వర్డ్స్. ఓకే, దేర్ వర్డ్స్, దేర్ యాక్ట్స్, కర్మ. ఓకే, కరోతు కాయ, దేర్ బాడీ ఈజ్ ఆల్వేస్ they keep under your service. Okay, I want to become servant of those kind of people. So this is the first shloka. We'll directly practice it now. Please repeat this after me 3 times every line, 2 lines together 3 times, and the 4 lines together 3 times. Aham hare tava padaikamoola. Please repeat.
Aham hare tava padaikamoola.
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 दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः.
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 मनुस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते.
गृणीत वा कर्म करोतु कायः.
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 2 lines together 3 times. अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला. दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः.
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 अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला. दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः
अहं
अहं
हरे तव
हरे तव
पादैकमूला
पादैकमूला
दासानुदासो
दासानुदासो
भवितास्मि
भवितास्मि
भूयः
भूयः
मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
मनः स्मरेता
मनस्मरिता
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म
कर्म
करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
मनः स्मरेता
मनस्मरिता
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म
कर्म
करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म
कर्म
करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
All the four lines took the three times. Aham hare tava padaikαμūla dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhūyah manasmareta supatirgunamste grinitava karma karotu kayah.
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला
पादैकमूला
दासानुदासो
दासानुदासो
भवितास्मि
भवितास्मि
भूयः
भूयः
मनस्मरेता
मनस्मरेता
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म
कर्म
करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला
पादैकमूला
दासानुदासो
दासानुदासो
भवितास्मि
भवितास्मि
भूयः
भूयः
मनस्मरेता
मनस्मरिता
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म
कर्म
करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांसे गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
अहं
अहं
हरे
हरे
तव
तव
पादैकमूला
पादैकमूला
दासानुदासो
दासानुदासो
भवितास्मि
भवितास्मि
भूयः
भूयः
मनस्मरेता
मनस्मरिता
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते
गृणीतवा
गृहीतवा
कर्म करोतु
करोतु
कायः
कायः
Any one of you wanted to practice, you can just practice, start practicing.
प्रभुजी I'll do प्रभुजी
Go ahead, Mataji.
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनः स्मरेता शुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः
Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, प्रभुजी
Anyone else who wanted to do and leave?
Shall I do, Prabhu? Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
go ahead, Mataji.
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनः स्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनस्मरेता सुपतिर्गुणं ते गृणीतवा कर्म करोतु कायः हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare
Muralidhar
Krishna
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
మీరు చేయండి. Prabhu.
अहं हरे तव पादैकमूला दासोऽनुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनस्मरेता सुपतेर्गुणांस्ते गृणीतव कर्म करोतु कायः.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Can I do Prabhu?
Yeah,
Srimad
go ahead,
Bhagavatam.
go ahead.
ప్రభుజీ ఇది విత్రసుర ప్రేయర్స్ ఫస్ట్ ప్రేయర్ ఇప్పుడు మనం చదివింది ఫస్ట్ శ్లోకనా?
కాదు. ఈ దీంట్లో ఇచ్చిన ఫస్ట్ శ్లోక మాతాజీ. ఫస్ట్ శ్లోక అయితే ఇంకా చాలా ముందే ఉంటది. 20th నుంచి ఎప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు విక్రాసుర. ఇది ఎంత 24 కదా? 24 ఇది.
సో మనం విత్రసుర ప్రేయర్స్ అంటే స్టార్టింగ్ ఇస్ ఆల్రెడీ డన్, ఇప్పుడు మధ్యలో ఉన్నామంటారు మీరు?
No, we didn't start Vitrasur prayers, Mataji. We started this Bhakti Vaibhav.
ఓకే రైట్ సరే, ఓకే అర్థమైంది ప్రభుజీ.
ఈ భక్తి వైభవ్ శ్లోకాస్ నెక్స్ట్ పార్ట్ అన్నమాట. ఫస్ట్ పార్ట్ మన సెకండ్ పార్ట్.
యా గాట్ ఇట్ యా అర్థమైంది ప్రభుజీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Aham hare tava padaikαμūla dasanudaso. Sorry Prabhu. Dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah
చదవను బ్రో, ఒకసారి చేస్తారా? మనస్మరేతా సుపతే గుణాంస్తే గృణీతవ కర్మ కరోతు కాయః. థ్యాంక్ యూ బ్రో, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. మాతాజీ చేస్తారా?
అహం హరే తవ పాదైకమూలా దాసానుదాసో భవితాస్మి భూయః మనస్మరేత సుపతేర్గుణంస్తే గృణీతవ కర్మ కరోతు కాయః.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Sapan Prabhu, we are done.
Yes, Prabhuji. I didn't do Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Aham hare tava padaikαμūla dasanudaso bhavitasmi bhuyah manasmareta supatergunamste grinitava karma karotu kayah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. We can conclude the call now.
Okay.
Tomorrow we will do Namaha Prashtam. Very important slogan.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक रीडिंग की जय. हरे कृष्ण.